Well, hey everybody, this is Bear, Bear's Heavenly Sweets. Today we're going to do something a little different. Today we're going to make strawberry jam. Now this process takes about 45 minutes from start to finish. So what we'll be doing is once we get it cooking and it starts boiling, we'll go, we may do a quick pause and then come back and all that. So, but just hang in, it's going to take a little fun. For this recipe, you need 5 pounds of strawberries or equivalent to 5 cups. Okay. And these need to be mashed down like you would do homemade mashed potatoes, but not real smooth like instant potatoes. You have the chunks in them. You need the chunks because that's what's going to make it work. You need 6 cups of sugar, whole grain sugar. And then I'm going to show you one little bit of trick that's in this that really helps with the foam part of it. And then you need a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. I like fresh lemons. So, if you take about two lemons, squeeze them up real good, that'll work for you there. I've already did some prepping. I've got my jars already setting in some water for my water bath. I got my lids in, some water for them. But I've also did my strawberries. I've already got them cut up, got them in my pan. So, with all that being said, let me see if I can adjust this down enough that we can see what's going on. Okay, so takes about 2 minutes. Now it's starting to boil a little bit. So all I want to do is I just want to keep stirring. Basically what we want to do is we want to make sure all of not just the one spot that's boiling or 2 spots that's boiling, we want to make sure the whole thing starts heating up. And as you can hear, it's heating up pretty good. So we'll give it a couple more minutes. Looks like it's trying to burp, kind of silly. But this makes something you can put up. And if you do the water bath, and once you set them out to cool, you can give these away as gifts to friends or somebody's birthday, maybe something at a church function, something like that. Or you can just put them up for your family, to have some your strawberry jam. And if you go to the store, its prices are getting just way out there, and it's just unreal. Now, one of the things I had said earlier was when you have foam, you'll have some foam on top. To cut the foam down and to preserve a lot of it, if you will take a 1/2 teaspoon of unsalted butter, you don't want the salt in it, and you just put that in there, this will help with the foam that's going to build up on top of your strawberries. I'm not a scientist. I don't know why it does it. A friend of mine, she had made some, and I asked her, I said, was there any way to cut down on all that foam? And she told me, I was like, wow, that is all? She said, yep, that's what she does. And I thought, hey, you know what? That's a pretty good idea. So when I made some last week for some coworkers of mine that were losing their job this week because of the coronavirus that's going around at our facility, and so they're all on layoff now as of, well, most of them. I think there's about 5 or 6 left, but as of the 31st, they will be all on layoff. And so I wanted to give them something good to maybe just, when they eat it, they can say, hey, you know what? It ain't all that bad. We got, we're better off than a lot. They got to work a lot longer than a lot of people. And so I made them some last weekend. I thought, you know what? This is cool. So, doing nice gestures for people, it's just in our nature. And well, now we're starting to get now we're getting a good boil. We're getting a good texture out of it. And you notice, I'll let it sit a second or two, and then I stir it. What I'm doing is I'm making sure I don't scorch it. I don't want it to burn, because it will give it a bad taste. You know, you really don't want that. So, and if I can see around the edges right there, the foam is starting to build up a little bit. So, therefore, you know, it's getting hot. It's starting to get hot. And this is really, really the key for this. And then as it cooks, like anything else, you know, the strawberries will break down. You get the consistency, and you'll be all right. Oh, somebody just, well, hello. Now, this is the first cup of sugar I'm putting in. And what I want to do is, I don't want to put all of it at one time. So what I'll do is I'll put it in, I'll mix it, I stir it real good. And as you can tell, it's getting a little bit more watery. Okay. Now here, what we want to do is we want to keep stirring, because we want it to dissolve really, really well. And if you just like put it in coffee or tea or whatever you put sugar in, if you just pour straight in, it goes straight to the bottom and that's it. So you really don't want to do that. So now what I want it to do is I want it to cook down a little bit. And what I want to do, I put 2 cups in, I want it to boil, start boiling again. Once it starts boiling again, then I'll add the other on top of that. And we'll have it all in. Then we just literally cook it at a rapid boil for about 2 minutes. Then we're going to take it off the heat, let it sit a few minutes. Oh yeah, look at that. I apologize for the noise. It's someone going out the front door. I'm building a kitchen for my video and downstairs in my basement garage area, so that I can kind of be away from everybody and I can soundproof it a little bit better than doing it in the main kitchen. Okay. Now, so this is going to do up about 5 to 6 minutes. You know, it'll start boiling back up, and as the sugar does, it's going to thicken up. It's going to make it thicker and thicker. So, oh yeah, man, that is looking good. And you know, the trick when I did it last week, I was like, man, it looks like jelly, you know, because it was so, I'd overdid my strawberries, and I more or less did a close to a puree on it, accident, because I got my mind going somewhere else, and I said, you know what, we got to fix that. So this time, what I did is I cut them up, and then I used, instead of pureed them, I just took a tater masher, you know, good old fashioned tater masher. I just mashed them down, you know, and that makes a world of difference. Now, if you look right here in this little corner, this is the foam that we're gonna get. Okay, and all we're gonna do is when we get through cooking it down and everything, we'll literally just scoop that part of it right off. We'll be good to go. Okay, now it's starting to boil again. So now we're going to add our final bit of sugar. Like I say, it takes 6 cups of sugar. For this particular recipe part of it. But I've had, You know, I don't do a lot of canning, but I do like homemade stuff. And blackberries, strawberry, blackberries, blueberries, or some of my favorite jelly. Strawberry's my favorite. I'm real partial to strawberries. Oh man, look at the fine pieces that's gonna have in that jam. That is gonna be good. Get some good made homemade butter biscuits, some buttermilk, or I like good old fashioned lard biscuits myself. I like the old style. My wife makes some great biscuits, and one of these days I'm gonna get her to do a video with me on how she makes her biscuits, because they are just awesome. Okay, now we got our second part in, the second part of sugar, and we're going to do the same thing with this that we did with the other. We're just going to keep stirring it until the consistency gets like it should be. It'll be a little bit thicker, and once we get through this phase of it, then we're going to let it rapidly boil for 1 minute. You want to boil it for 1 minute at a fast pace everywhere. Then you're going to take it off, let it set 5 minutes so that it gets used to the temperature again. And then by the time this is done, our jars will be done. We can set them out. We'll fill them up. Yeah, this is one of these processes. It's just time, more time than anything else, and but it is a lot of fun. And you know, you can always have other things. You know, you put this up and say, "Hey, I'm gonna have me a jar," and then instead of buying going to the store and having to find jelly, you just go down to your cabinet that you got where you put these at, and you're good to go. Once you get the bath, these things are, you put them in, you seal them up, and you set them out. In about 24 hours, they'll start setting real good, and within 48 hours, if you go back and pick one, look at it, make sure your consistency is where you like. If it's not like you want it, if you want it thicker or something, then all you have to do is open those particular jars, and put them back in. Don't do more than four quarts at a time, and all you want to do is add a little bit of sugar to it, and it'll heat it back up and redo it, and it'll get your consistency the way you want it. Okay, that's all you're doing. But I've never had that problem, so if you do this like this, you shouldn't have that issue either. Don't mean you won't, it just means you shouldn't. And what I like to do is I like to pour the foam as I'm doing it to one side, so I can kind of see what my strawberries are going to look like. And if you look at that, look at that. Now, we're going to do one little trick that's a lot of fun. I'm going to get a plate out of here. I'm going to stick this plate down in the freezer. Leave it in there for just until I get finished. And what we're going to do is, we're actually going, when I think it's done, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to leave it on the stove, but I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to pour it in the plate. Okay, the plate's going to be ice cold. What the jam is going to do, when I put it on there, I'm going to go a line right down the middle of it. And then I'm going to tilt it, as long as it don't run, because it's going to freeze it, it kind of seals it up kind of quick. It shouldn't be runny. If it's real runny, then I need to cook it just a little bit longer. And you might want, that's just a little way to check your consistency. You don't want it runny like water, because if you do, you might as well just boil your strawberries and then you're done, Now, if you notice, our jam, our strawberry jam is starting to boil, getting ready to start boiling up. But our consistency, as far as our foam goes, has gone way down. And the reason is, as we cook it, now the butter's starting to interact. See, now we look here. See this here? Now we're starting to get up. So, and this is what we want it to do. Ooh. Yeah, I like making a mess, so my wife always gets me on that one. So we'll just have to do a little quick wipe down real quick so we don't make too big of a mess. And if you do this, now another little trick if you want to check it is just take your a candy thermometer if you have one. My wife got me one about a year ago, just like this here, and you can literally just set it down inside it and watch your temperature. If your temperature comes up to 220, then you're getting hot enough. In other words, everything inside's heating up like it's supposed to. So that's what you want to do when you do these, you know, get your consistency where it needs to be. It sounds like everybody's starting to move around in the house, and so I need to get this done. All right, we're at 180, so we're getting there. Get that out. Now, see the rapid boil? That's what we want. Now, what I like to do is take out the first level, because I want to see how it's going to set. So, I'll take the first level out. Oh, Lord, them boys making all kinds of noise this morning. Now, when it's at a rapid boil, set your timer. You only want to cook it for 1 minute at an entire rapid boil. Okay. Now, if you notice, our strawberries are starting to fade away. It's not as thick as it was. But our foam has gotten thicker. We got more foam now, which is what we want. The more foam we get, the better the strawberries gonna be. So we got about 15 more seconds. And then our jam part of it will be completed. There's our minute. Okay, so now all I want to do is I want to take it completely off the heat. Move my lids over here. I just want to take it completely off the heat, and I just want to skim the top of it just a little bit. You see this here? So let me readjust this camera just a little bit. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to skim the top, get all my foam to one area. I'm not pushing down in there, I'm just foaming it down. And then all I'm going to do is just take that spoon, and all I want to do is just skim it off, skim the foam off. There. Now, So we got this part of it completed. So now what we have to do is we're going to set us the timer. We're going to let it rest, because that's all we're doing, letting it rest. And while it's resting, we're going to get our jars ready. And this is the part that really does good, because you want to do this to the point where this will you do your jars. So you just put a little towel down, pour your water out of your jars, set them down, because you want them hot with this hot so that they'll seal up properly. Okay, get our jar picker. Okay. Now that we got our jars, what I like to do is I like to do it all in one place, so I don't want to have to keep doing it. So let's take a breather here. I think this will be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my jars one at a time. I'm going to set them out. And always make sure that everything is 100% clean. I actually have my picker, my jar picker. I do a water bath with them also ahead of time, so I know they're sterile. Yeah, and whatever you do, just don't grab a hold of them and touch them and contaminate them. Now, we got the front one, we got our lids ready. So now, okay, this batch should make these 8, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna lay this in here out of the way. And I'm just gonna take one of my wife's coffee cups, scoop, and pour. Okay, now what this does is it allows me to pour in without using a funnel, and you want to be about 1/4 from the top, because you got to have room for it to do. And then we're gonna take a little knife, and we're gonna go around the edges, get the air bubbles out of it. Okay, now rearrange this so you can see what's going on with the jars. Now with the jars, what we're done is we fill them 1/4 up. So all you want to do is just take a little kitchen knife and go around the edge. What this does, this gets the excess air that's accumulated around the edge of the jar. And when you do it, you'll watch. It'll go down just there. There's the timer. And we actually have a little bit left, so we're gonna actually make some more. But for our process today, hot. You want to put these on when they're hot, nice and firm. Okay. And always wipe your rims off so you'll know that they're sealed up. Yeah. It's a little hot. Ooh. Jesus, thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord. So now we got our jar, so all we're gonna do is set them back down inside for a bubble bath. We're gonna get us a nice water bath going. And this will only take about 5 minutes. So you gotta remember your water's still hot, using the same water that you did your baths in. So, and you'll know, when you tighten them down, they ain't gotta be super tight, they gotta be tight, snugged up. And if you notice, their water bath got a little bit higher because now we have water that was in our bath that was processed. So now I don't know how many of these I'm gonna need, so we're just gonna go ahead and take them all out. Whatever fills up will be what we make. Got it. Well, man, this video shot all to pieces. Looks like we're gonna have to do some serious work on this one. Okay, so now I'm not sure how much this one's going to have left over, but whatever it is, and I have a little bit. So we'll just put the little one in there. Now this one is the one I did for my co-workers this past week. Well, good thing I got an extra one, huh? What do I do with my pocket? Little stirring knife. Okay. Four. Now, what's really neat is when you get to see these in the light, they're just awesome. Then your water only needs to be about 2 inches above where your lid is. So that way, you know, you don't need an excessive amount of water in it for your bath. So now that I got them all in, I'm gonna set me a timer for 5 minutes. And that's all there is to one strawberry jam, other than the fun part of cleaning up. Well, we got less than a minute left on the water bath, and what we'll do is, when the water bath's done, we're going to take them, set them out here on the washcloths, and we're going to let them rest for about an hour. At which time, somewhere within the next hour, hour and a half, afterwards, you'll start hearing them boop, 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 and as it cools down, you'll start hearing the popping, which means it's filling up. And then I have what I use is, I use the same little box that they come in, the jars, and I put them back in it. And in about 4 hours, I'll go around to each one of them and I'll date it today's date. So I know a year to a year and a half from now, those are still good to go, okay? I'll take them and put them in a nice dry spot. And I prefer, you know, something like a cupboard. Maybe you got a bookshelf downstairs in the basement or somewhere that's, you know, it's not going to be heated up. It's not going to have a lot of sunlight or something. And that way, it's kind of like having your own little hideaway jelly, and you can make all your fruits, vegetables, and stuff. You know, there's all kind of recipes everywhere you can get. But this is simple. It's really easy to do. There's no major processing involved in it. It's a labor of love in my book, because it's something you enjoy to do and you take pride in it. So we're taking 1, 2, 3, and a baby. And we're going to come to this pan. We have 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, if you can tell, we make out of 5 pounds of strawberries, we made 11 half pints of strawberry jam. And then we had a little bit left over. And what I usually do, if I got something like this, is I'm gonna go ahead and run it through the process like everything else. But I will literally take this one after it seals up, and I'll put it in the refrigerator and let it get cold. And then I'm going to try this, you know, and that's a good way for me to do it. Now, if you remember, a little bit earlier, I put a plate in the refrigerator, and that was a little secret thing I like to do, and I didn't do it on that. So what I may do here, just a second, I'll see how this is, and you may just, pop this one open. Let's see here. Oh yeah, she's good and cold. And what we want to do is just take a little spoon, put it in the middle of the plate. Okay. Ooh, that does taste good. And then, while it's on the plate's good and cold, you go right down the middle. And if you notice how it don't close up, well, that's how you know you're getting your consistency right. So, this is Bear. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me some comments, share it with your friends, co-workers. I will be posting something here shortly. A lot of my co-workers that I have that are been laid off because of the coronavirus were my testers. I had people from New York, Chicago, California, some of the islands, a couple of Jamaicans, and Southerners. And what I like to do is when I make something, I like to take them and give them samples. And then I get their honest opinion, because, you know, everybody eats different, tastes different. So I get their opinion on if something needs to be tweaked a little bit, or maybe it's not their favorite, or something like that. And now that I'm not going to have all of those friends and co-workers to be able to help share all this, I will be looking for some people around the Coweta County area that would like to try some free samples to give me their opinion on how something tastes, and then if I need to tweak it or something, I'll do that. And it's a way to, you know, make it. You know, I will eat some. If I don't like it, I don't give it out. I'll just throw it away and see what the problem was. But if I make it and I like it, then I will be passing it out and letting people try it, just to get their opinion, to build up how the cooking goes. I had a lady ask me would I teach her how to make a cheesecake, you know, from scratch, and instead of using a box. And I said, sure, you know. So things like this is what we want to do. We want to, you know, get back to the basics. So if things happen, you know, you got stuff in the freezer, down in the cabinets, to do. I got a good friend that's he cans, and I want to get him to show me how he cans, you know, tomatoes, squash, stuff like that. So we can do, you know, maybe get him do a video with us or something like that, and let's have, you know, get it out there and show people how this is done. Well, this last weekend, I should say, of May of 2020, I hope y'all have a great summer, and we got one more to post, probably tomorrow, that we're gonna make a peanut butter cheesecake with Oreo cookies. My grandson's been asking me for this for a month now, so I need to make this for him so he can, and I may have him here when I do this just to let him have some fun. Well, y'all have a great day. Be safe, and God bless you.